Hey guys, welcome to another 31 Horror Toys in 31 Days review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Mcfarlane Toys Movie Maniacs Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface action figure. Now this figure is based off of the first movie version, not one of the many sequels or the many remakes. No, this is just the original, which in my opinion is probably the best. And that's considering its time, you know, the budget and everything. I feel like it's held up pretty well for what it is. You know, I don't think it's an amazing movie, but by far it's better than many of the others. Although, I did like Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, but that might just be because of Dennis Hopper. That dude's pretty awesome. And then there was a chainsaw duel in that. I don't know. For me, it's between the first one and the second one, which is weird because a lot of people tend to hate the second one. I don't know. Tell me which Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie you guys prefer in the comments below. So, to start out, we're going to be taking a look at the figure's sculpt and paint, but first I want to say, keep in mind, this is an old figure, okay? So, this isn't going to wow you or blow you out of your seat or anything, but if you could just understand the limitations and what we had at the time that this came out, which was 1998, I believe. Yeah, it's marked as 98. It might have been released in 99, but yeah, this is pretty old, so keep in mind what we had at the time, and we're going to kind of compare it to that, not really compare it to NECA, because I mean, come on. NECA has just gone full detail and articulation. When you add that to anything from the past, it's just going to blow it out of the water, so for what it is, we're going to be taking a look at what it is. Okay, so to start out, we're going to take a look at the sculpt. So let me pull this out. I will say I had to put a bunch of sticky tack to keep that chainsaw solidly in his hand, just because they made his hand so huge. This is definitely, they went for a stylistic look. This isn't like realistic proportions or anything. I feel like it's definitely cartoon-esque. And it's not dead-on accurate to the movie. If I remember correctly, he had short sleeves and the shirt was kind of like striped, but pretty much everything else is pretty close, except for the shoes. They went for kind of a loafer look here, or some sort of work boot maybe, but it's supposed to be like cowboy shoes. So, again, there's a few things that aren't accurate, but then again, Mcfarlane, I think they didn't have screenshots from the movies or anything. They kind of just went from memory, moreover, and what they did was kind of created an image of what they felt like it looked like, and not so much exactly what it looked like in the movie. I don't know, it's just, I think that's what they did. They didn't, because keep in mind, now they have 3D scans of everything, they go over tons of images, they can go through the movies over and over again, but in 1998, you'd have to pause videotapes and take a look at that stuff, and it's not so easy. You'd have to like go back to see what wardrobe they had. And nowadays you can just do a quick Google search, then not so much. Alright, so for sculpt, he does have a lot of detail on him, and while they're not accurate, we're not going to be taking a look at that so much. We're going to say whether they're cool or not. And certainly, you can say the stitches on this disgusting, grotesque face, it's all pretty well detailed. And the paint is definitely there. There's a lot of blood on him. I love all the extra blood. He's got some there, some on his chest, and sprayed on his face. Creates a very menacing look. And I always kind of get a Michael Myers feel off of this face. It doesn't look so much just like Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy, you know, Leatherface. It kind of resembles doesn't it kind of resemble Michael Myers? I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking of the wrong movie. Alright. And then the sculpt on the pants is also well detailed. You can see it's, if I turn this, you can see they've fully detailed everything, even the stuff that you wouldn't really see, like painting the belt buckle, which you wouldn't see because, you know, it's hidden behind this solid piece here. But it's nice that they go ahead and do that detail. They even put the blood, like, up to his knees and a little past. It's nice little details like that. It's not bad at all. And then they painted in his fingernails, I think, a little too white. Those look like a bit freaky. Should have made it a little more brown looking, because this guy's a filthy bastard. Look at him. I don't think you can point at one spot on him that's clean. Golly. he's a messy eater too. I will point out I am missing like 3 accessories, but they're not so great, and I feel like we can continue on through the review without really seeing them at all. It's a bucket, a severed head, which is not very well detailed, and then just a regular looking hammer. That's it. So if you really miss that, then you can check out someone else's review, but I feel like doing an action figure review, we're going to look at the action figure, not so much just the accessories. Alright, so yeah, I would say the sculpt is decent, and the shirt has all these folds on it that just look nice. As for the paint, the detail on the tie, I think that is the way it's supposed to look. So, mad points for that too. Yeah, and he's got that nice dumpy Leatherface look to him, so I'm getting the proper vibe here. Then this piece right here is a soft-ish plastic, but it's not too easily to move. It's not very pliable, so you can't really like get too much with it. You can't reposition it or anything, but you know, it doesn't get too in the way at the same time. It's just right in between that area between too solid to move and too soft to keep in place. I will say it does look like it's billowing out a little too much on the sides. But beyond that, I like the way it folds over his legs and all. It sits pretty well. Alright, now we'll talk about articulation, I guess, since basically sculpt and paint we've gone over. It's got a nice hair sculpt, and you can see in there he's got his little eyes sculpted and painted in. Let me get the focus up in here. Yeah. There we are. What a beauty. Look at those teeth. Alright, and for articulation, the weird part on my figure is, through time, his head has kind of become a little too stiff. It won't articulate. It's kind of just stuck up there. And it's not glued on or anything. It's just the two plastics have kind of like melded together a bit, and now it's just stuck up there. So, but originally his head would turn about that much to the side and then that much to that side. So not much head articulation. It's not on a ball joint or anything. This is way before then. I think ball joints weren't really brought in until like mid-2000s. And this guy definitely doesn't have any of those. Let's see. Then next articulation point he has at the shoulders, full 360 spin on this side, as well as this side. And then at the weird part here, no elbow articulation here, but there is elbow articulation here, which can do a full 360 swivel, which is good when it comes to his accessory, which we'll take a look at last, I think, just because his name is, well, Leatherface, but he's the it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, okay? So the chainsaw part will come last. Jeez, I hate myself. So yeah, 360 spin on this side, then at the wrist there's no articulation at all. But then on the other side there's no elbow articulation, but there is a 360 swivel at the wrist. So I'm guessing they decide with those two articulation points just for the chainsaw, which we will bring in now, might as well. So you can see, he would hold it like this, I assume. I think this is the way you're supposed to hold it. And this hand is so huge, it just does not hold it very well. But that way you can like get more positioning out of it. You could like bring it up here, swivel it around a little bit better. Personally, I would have preferred having both elbows articulated instead of having a swivel right here. It would have been nice to have both, but we can't really get that because, you know, Mcfarlane. Alright, so see, last articulation point is right at the waist. He does a full 360 spin, and that's it. There's no leg articulation, it's just solid hunk. So yeah, articulation is kind of really sad on this guy. For the time, articulation was not huge. They didn't have a ton of articulated figures, super articulated. There were some, and Toy Biz, like even this Wolverine had quite a bit of articulation. But the problem is, they had it to the point where if they had articulation, it really took away from the sculpt. That's why Mcfarlane decided to go with the swivel joints and stuff, because it's kind of hidden, and if you look at him, you can't really see the articulation points too well. You might just think he's a statue. So they, for what they were going for, I think Mcfarlane did a fairly good job. And if this came out nowadays, I would be ranting about how much it sucks and whatever, but since this is older, I do have a bit of respect for it, because this is one of the early, well-sculpted things that kind of got us into the current day NECA figures and stuff. You gotta respect that. So, last thing we're gonna take a look at here is his beautiful chainsaw, which is not accurate to the movie. It should be a lot shorter, stockier, smaller. If you look at that, that's not accurate, but it does look a lot more menacing, and I like that. It's very thick so it doesn't break. It's made out of a pliable material, definitely something rubbery. And the blood on it is superb. It's got not only this big splotch of blood on the side, it's also got like some spray on this side, and then just there's random spray all throughout. It's got the yellow part here. And also, while the blade itself is not accurate, this part is not accurate as well. I believe this should be a lot more boxy and all yellow. Just saying. But for what it is, it does look like a chainsaw. It looks menacing, and I like it. So, plus, if you're just going by memory and you look at this guy, you pretty much would say, yeah, that's how he looked in the movie. You know, if you don't watch it too often or whatever, it's going to be like, I don't see any problem there. I have no complaints. But if you're a fan of the movie, you're probably thinking like, yeah, this guy's stupid. Look at it. It's so different. But yeah, I like this figure a fair amount. Would I gladly trade him out for a NECA one that's new? Yes, I would. Those figures are awesome. But unfortunately, this is the only Leatherface figure I have, and I kind of dig it, you know? For now, it's a good placeholder. Because you can still display him just as well alongside other figures like NECA's superb Hicks figure right here from the movie Aliens. Man, I love 7-inch figures so much now. Ever since I got this guy, it's been 7-inch figures for life. So anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about the review. If I wasn't thorough enough, then shoot me in the face or something. I don't know, complain, rant, dislike, whatever. But if you liked it, like and comment, subscribe, all that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys in the next 31 Horror Toys in 31 Days review. Peace.